It's over for the little guy.
The Sopranos is filled with memorable characters. Tony, Christopher, Paulie, Silvio. The main cast is incredible, and they make the show what it is. But equally important to the show are the less prominent figures. Side characters who, while not having as many stories dedicated to them alone, still contribute to the series. Patsy Parisi is one of these figures. For most of the series, he's a background character. He's in a lot of episodes, but only occasionally has scenes dedicated to him specifically. But even though he's not a focus of the series by any stretch, he still has a storyline that we can pick up on if we pay attention closely. And in this video, we'll examine how, over the course of the series, Patsy enacted his revenge on Tony.
You know what they say? Revenge is like serving cold cuts.
Pasquale Parisi, known as Patsy, is introduced in the Season 2 finale Funhouse. However, his origin as a character starts earlier at the beginning of Season 2, as a different character named Philly Parisi, also known as Spoons. Spoons is killed in his first episode, but David Chase liked the actor Dan Grimaldi so much that they brought him back as his own twin brother, Patsy.
You know, Dan originally played a character named Philly Parisi, and it was in the beginning of the second season, I think, and Philly Parisi got shot in a car. And David, you know, afterwards said, God, that was so stupid. I didn't know this guy was going to be so good. I never would have killed him. So David said, all right, we can do this once per TV series. He has a twin brother. He goes, I'm playing the twin card for this guy because he's so good. And we brought him back as his own twin brother, Patsy Parisi, who then lived on till the end of the show.
The storyline is that Philly and Patsy were members of Junior's crew. After Junior is placed under house arrest and Tony assumes control over most of his assets, he brings over Patsy and another member, Gigi Sestone, to work for him instead.
Well, we brought him over from Junior's crew to keep an eye on him. So that's what we'll keep doing.
His first real episode is the Season 3 opener, Mr. Ruggiero's Neighborhood, which is also his most prominent storyline in the series. After his twin brother is killed on Tony's orders, Patsy falls into a deep depression. He contemplates killing Tony in revenge, but ultimately can't follow through with it and decides to put the incident behind him.
Let me hear you say it.
I put the grief behind me.
Throughout the rest of the series, Patsy mostly stays in the background, acting as an enforcer as well as the accountant for the family. He participates in various activities for the family, like intimidating Gloria Trillo to stay away from Tony after their breakup, and getting into a fight with Native Americans over the Columbus Day protests.
What the fuck you doing getting pinched for public disturbance when his family's on trial?
I'm sorry, Tone.
Yeah, you went down there too.
However, despite the fact that Patsy puts his grief aside and steps up as a critical member of the family, he still has many reasons to be resentful of Tony. For example, when Paulie is jailed in Season 4, Christopher is promoted to acting capo of his crew. Patsy rightly feels that he deserves the position more due to his seniority, and feels that Tony isn't treating him fairly.
Patsy feels bad. Maybe he was passed over.
So what the fuck do you care? Last year you were pushing me to take him out.
And this isn't the last time that Patsy is put down by Tony either. Later on, Tony ends up selling the building that Caputo's Poultry is in to Jamba Juice. Not only does this act gentrify and degrade the Italian culture of the neighborhood, Caputo's paid Patsy protection money, which ends up costing him when they go out of business.
Your boss went and sold the building.
He sold the building. I got a kid in college. Where are my fucking eggs?
All of this is further compounded by the fact that Patsy is actually related to Tony. I talked about this in my family tree video, but in a deleted scene from Season 2, they mention how Philly, and thus Patsy, are related to the Sopranos. Not that it saves them from his treatment.
Well, the other day, we presented a gold watch to Philly Parisi.
Junior's godson.
Not only that, but Philly also happened to be Tony's cousin on his mother's side.
Basically, Patsy has many reasons to be resentful of Tony. Not to mention, of course, his lingering feelings about his brother's death. Though he might not have been able to pull the trigger on Tony, there's no way that he could ever truly let go of his twin brother's murder on the orders of his boss.
But it's gotta be hard coming into work every day, looking right into the eyes of the guy you know ordered your brother whacked, and even having to smile.
And some fans don't think that he did. Although I know I'm going to get some people arguing about it in the comments, it's pretty well agreed upon that the famous cut to black ending of the series represents Tony being killed. And there's a theory that Patsy might be behind it.
Conspiracy theories now.
There are a lot of possibilities about who might be behind Tony getting whacked. It might have been Butchie, who is likely to take over the Lupertazzi family after Phil's death. It might have been Carmine. Go check out my video on him for more information about that. It might have been Paulie, who is likely to take over the New Jersey family in the event of Tony's death. For all we know, it might have been Noah, in revenge for Tony's racism, and a lot of other things.
It's lucky I didn't punch his fucking lights out.
However, another possibility is that Patsy was the one who had Tony whacked. As we discussed, he has every reason to hate Tony, not to mention the fact that he tried to kill Tony in the past as well. Maybe he decided that with Tony in a vulnerable position after the war and the indictments coming down, now was the chance to strike.
People misinterpret. They think you're weak. They see an opportunity. They're my friends, a lot of them, but they're also fucking jackals.
However, I don't think that Patsy was actually the one that ordered Tony killed, and there's a few reasons for this. The main one being that Patsy's in a really good position with Tony at the end of the series. His son is engaged to Meadow, giving him a direct connection to Tony. Bobby's relationship to Janice is what led to him becoming underboss, and after he's gone, we see Tony consider Patsy in the same light.
Hey, you don't want the job, you don't want the job. I can put Patsy in there. She's gonna be part of my family now. Be good.
I don't think that Patsy would give up his opportunity for a leadership role in the family. And we know from the fact that he was almost killed during the hit on Silvio that he was not working with New York during that time. Maybe he made a deal with them afterwards, or maybe he conspired with Paulie afterwards to become his number 2 when he took over. Although, if that was the case, I don't know why Paulie would care if he took over the Aprio crew instead of him.
Prick. You always know what to say to me, don't you?
I'm serious.
Another possibility is that Patsy had Tony killed in order to save his son Jason. His son and Carlo's son, also named Jason, are partners in crime at their college. When Jason Gervasi is arrested for selling ecstasy, Carlo agrees to testify against Tony to save him from the drug charges. In Patsy's mind, Tony might be thinking of getting rid of either him or his son in order to prevent them from testifying as well. The show makes a point in the final episode of showing Patsy's concern about his son being near the other Jason at dinner, which might be evidence of this theory.
That pal of his, the other Jason, already ran into some trouble. Carlos Jason.
He's a mess.
All right.
Ultimately, we will never know the answer to who was behind Tony's death, or even if he did actually die. However, even if Patsy didn't directly get his revenge on Tony by killing him, I still think he was getting his revenge indirectly.
See, we forget that in the old days, the ones that came over that started this thing, they didn't get mad. They just smiled and nodded and made sure you got it later.
You've heard the expression, living well is the best revenge? Well, that's essentially what Pat does by deciding to survive instead of seeking his revenge. He realizes that killing Tony won't bring his brother back, and that his life and his family are more important. He knows that he will most likely be killed if he goes after Tony, which is why he throws water on the idea of taking Tony out when Albert brings it up after Ralph's death.
And what's next? You get clipped for wearing the wrong shoes?
What can you do? Tony's the boss. Centuries of tradition here.
And this philosophy of focusing on his family has its rewards. In the last season, AJ's depression is a point of embarrassment for Tony. He laments the fact that his son is not happy and successful compared to his friends' kids, such as Patsy's sons. Patsy seems to take a great joy in rubbing his son's accomplishments compared to AJ in Tony's face.
You must be very proud.
Believe me, I thank God every day.
And of course, his other son Patrick is marrying Tony's daughter. Not only does this give him a direct relationship to Tony, it's also a little bit like his family is taking over Tony's. Richie Aprile did the same thing when he was marrying Janice and trying to set up Jackie with Meadow, essentially taking back control of the mob from the inside.
We're not too young to be grandpas.
In the end, Patsy didn't need to kill Tony. He swallowed his pride and slowly worked his way into Tony's inner circle. He's in a prime position to not only take care of his own family, but also potentially take over in the event Tony's out of the picture. Patsy proves that revenge is just like serving cold cuts. It's not always flashy, but even when served cold, revenge is truly satisfying.
It won't be cinematic.
But you know what is cinematic? My videos. Matt Joyce, Uncle Mike, Sam Cedarland, Celery Man, Cheshire, Brandon Taylor, James Johnson, Wolfgang, and No Name.